You've come to the right place, traveler.
Hey lads, welcome back to the channel. This is gonna be my first Leaguestarter build guide for the Season 2 1 points for last Epoch, and I thought I would start with my own Leaguestarter. This is what I'm gonna be playing once the patch drops, which is my Warlock Witchfire build. We cooked this build back in 1.1 once the Witchfire got some significant buffs. I loved it. It's my best eco farmer. It's very speedy, and a couple of things that were disadvantages for the build. Right now they're being sold with a brand new unique relic that we are getting. It's everything that I ever wanted for the Witchfire. We're gonna talk about that a little bit later though, but generally speaking, the new relic is gonna boost our single target, pretty much double or triple it, and we also going to be getting much more consistent clear, which is important once you start pushing over 800 corruption. Basically I was farming 800 corruption with this build very comfortably. I'm gonna show you here. This is 680. This is mud flats. Let's see a little bit of gameplay. What do you do on your recos and how the build plays out. You're putting down your Chthonic Fissure, right? And then you cast in a couple of Chaos Bolts so that you can get your Ignite and Damned Overload, and that's about it. Once you are done with, you put down your Fissure, you're gonna be cleaning your screen. Anything comes your way, you Profane Veil around it, and you get your defensive layer out of that one. We have a decent amount of ward, and we're gonna be getting pretty much the same amount of ward in the next season as well, with a couple of changes that we have done to the build. Now, when it comes to single target, I want to show you right here, right? We are popping our Infernal Flames. These give our Fissure a little bit of more frequency, which is very important, and we're gonna be doing that. I'm not very well right now because I'm also talking, but as you can see, this is how the gameplay happens, and this is gonna be a lot higher single target next season, which is fantastic. I cannot wait. This build killed Aberoth fairly easy. It has some really good gear, of course, but this is what you need in order to get into higher corruption. Now, I'm gonna be giving you an early life build setup, and also how to a few tips and tricks how to actually get into the low life setup as well for your end game. If you like the video, do hit the like button, subscribe to the content to the channel for more content, please. It helps me greatly. Leave your comments below, and remember, if you are actually league starting something like that, you can always drop my Twitch channel, because I will be league starting myself, so I can give you more advice there. We can discuss any issues that you might have with your build and your progression. Alright, let's get into the planners for this Leaguestarter build. We're gonna start with the end game here, and we're also gonna be talking about leveling and the live version early on, how to get your progression going. Now, keep in mind, I do have a very extensive build guide on this from the 1.1 season, which explains exactly how Witchfire scales and what exactly you need to go to do. So if you want more details about that, I'm gonna have a link to the description. Let's get with the passives here. So on the Acolyte tree, fairly easy. We're getting a little bit of necrotic resistance, intelligence, and this unnatural preservation here, a little bit more armor. Eye of Damnation is always a nice option, especially early on. It gives you more damn chance and necrotic damage, which boosts your Witchfire. On the Warlock tree, we want the threshold here for more damage over time to cursed enemies, maximum Chaos Flames, and we are maxing all the defensive layers right here: Harron Armor, Dark Protection, and Wither. We also get 1 value point on Erosion Darkness. This is an extra curse for single target for bosses, right? We're maxing out our Ignite and Damn Chance, and this is where the magic happens with the Witchfire and Grimhild's Domain, which gives us all a whole bunch of more multipliers based on our Damn Chance per hit with necrotic skills, and also our chance to ignite with fire skills. We also get this threshold here for more damage over time. This is 6% because we always have 2 Overload, Ignite and Fire, and we are also of course getting our Haste as Warlock, so we're gonna be a little bit speedy, and cast speed here, it makes the build play a little bit more smooth. It's not mandatory, but it is going to be very nice. I think you actually want a little bit of cast speed. Now, there are a few things on the gear department that are changing on the next season, so let's get started. When it comes to the idols, first of all, there are still a lot of things to be discovered for the idols, but we have those adorned idols that they're just amazing, a lot of damage over time while you have an ailment overload, which is always, and ward detention. Keep in mind, the suffix ward detention, very important to get as high roll as possible, so prioritize that because we are losing a lot of ward detention from our intelligence, and it's gonna be a little bit tougher to get good ward. I will show you how much ward we have on this iteration without insane gear, but very good gear already. And also I'm adding an enchantment, ward decay threshold, and ward per second here. We're probably gonna grab a couple of extra enchantments as well, but we'll see what about that. The small ones, minor weaver idols, those are very nice. Ward retention and ward per second. There is also another suffix instead of the 14 health that you can grab and gives you more health here if you want the health and mana as well. It rolls a little bit higher, but those are gonna be a little bit harder to get with 2 of these new specialized affixes, so I'm only keeping it simple, just ward retention and life, and we are good to go. Our blessings here, very easy, Black Sun, 100% ignite on sheet, that is actually very important to get. All resistances, armor, and we are getting decay threshold. Now keep in mind, the bulwark here is not very much necessary. If you need physical resistance, especially early on, just grab physical resistance. I want to talk about the new set shard affixes. We're going to be taking advantage of the Isadora's set item, as you can see here. Now, those shard affixes for Isadora's helmet, gloves, and belt, they're not really amazing by themselves, so we need a very simple thing. They are all three of them, they're suffixes, so you just need to craft them once and seal them afterwards with a Glyph of Despair. Very simple. And fairly easy to get. As you can see, on our helmet and body armor, we want a chance to apply damned on heat. Very important. So we seal that, we craft our health, our intelligence. You might want a little bit dexterity here instead of intelligence, because you want some dexterity for your harvest procs. And same with the belt, you're going for a little bit of health, damage over time, or necrotic damage, or LE over time are both fine prefixes. Mana regen if it's needed, otherwise you're going with the do damage prefixes. You seal your Isadora's set shard and you're good to go. Same with the gloves. Now you will see here we have melee leads as health, and this is why we are actually going to be taking this over here, hollow leads. Now this is one of the texts that we implemented into the game, that's why I'm talking about this right now, so you can understand why we're doing some of the things we're doing here. First of all, of course, this is 120% increased damage because we are going low life, so very good there. But the leads we converted into generic damage. Now generic damage is also going to be boosting our curse damage, which Downfall of the Righteous, the new relic, this amazing new item. Witchfire deals more damage equal to 60% of your increased curse damage. So this is gonna translate into a lot of generic damage for our necrotic, our fire damage, and our curse damage. So from these affixes here, melee damage leads as health, and melee damage leads as health on our scepter. We are basically triple dipping on the damage. You see here my Witchfire damage is over 10 million. Not 100% if the calculations here are correct, but as a reference, you can see here, this is my character from 1.1, this was 6.5, and by the way, this is still not calculating the more damage that you are getting from Downfall of the Righteous. The calculations are not there yet. So it's a very strong setup to get. This is why we are going for tier 7 here. I'm only having tier 4 missing health, and with Exanguinus and Last Steps is still already pretty damn good, but you can go, as you can see here, I have input those stats from there. We're still hitting about 7.5, 7.7 ward, and if you go, with good rolls, you're gonna be hitting even higher, but I'm only giving you the average, which is fairly easy to acquire. Don't mind the 2 Rendix here. Those are not even gonna be 100% on the build. Most likely, if I get some good ones, maybe with like tier 7 damage over time or tier 7 indulgence, probably gonna need some attributes to activate them. So maybe if I can get Rendix like that, I'm gonna use them. Otherwise, we're gonna use some other rings that we're gonna see later on the other planner. Fire starter stores, you want the melee damage least as life and the minus mana cost. Now, because we are taking advantage of these Adoras, the mana efficiency with the necrotic spells that we are getting from the 3 set piece allows us to downgrade our minus mana cost from tier 7 to tier 5 and get more damage from the melee damage list as health, right? Also, ignite, fire penetration on the other ones, and Nihilist is very nice. It gives us a whole bunch of resistance, more armor, regen, plus 2 levels that we take advantage, more movement speed, health, etc, etc. And because we have guaranteed slams, it's very easy to get increased damage over time, tier 7, so it's gonna be a huge boost. I'm only counting 2 LP on the downfall of the Rages because we don't have a lot of cast speed. We are losing the cast speed on our gloves. I think I'm gonna go with tier 7 cast speed here, and most likely indulgence. But you can also go with life damage over time. Life will boost our ward because we are low life, right? And we're converting it into ward. Opulent focus. You want good rolls on the implicit and damage over time priority on the tier 7. Cast speed is not bad either, so don't worry about that. We have ward per second. As you see, I have an open suffix as well for some resistances depending on your setup. Now, when it comes to the last steps of the living, I'm not even sure if I'm gonna go with tier 7 intelligence yet. We might go for movement speed. This already has 120% movement speed, and it's not counting the haste effect from the tree. As you see, the haste is only 30. Generally speaking, this and the 20% from harvest as well. So we are already hitting about 150, 160% movement speed on this setup. So if I add tier 7 movement speed here, we are probably gonna be hitting almost close to 200. We'll see how the season goes and what are the requirements to the new high corruption with the tombs and cemeteries and all the new content, and we're gonna make some decisions. A lot of things will change. You don't need 3 LP Exanguinus, but it's very nice if you can get it. The tier 7 dumped on hit is very, very important, and either health or indulgence, both are very good, generally speaking. Now, let's talk about the skills. Our Chthonic Fissure right here, very, very simple. We are getting the minus mana cost and the mana refund when you're casting it again. And we are going over here to make it bigger. This gives us a higher mana cost, of course. And we're proccing the Chaos Bolts. We're also getting Necrotic Resistance stacks and Fire Strength stacks here. And this is the Infernal Shade tech. When you're casting Infernal Shade to a boss, the Chthonic Fissure attacks, absorb it, and then you gain a lot of increased spirit frequency. Now, Chthonic Fissure was nerfed for Season 2. It has a lot less spirit frequency on the base, and this node over here has been nerfed a little bit as well. But with this tech, we're still gonna have enough frequency to get good amount of damned stacks and ignite. Now, because of the Isadora set, once again, the damned damage will be a lot higher. Like in my version 1.1, the damned stacks were not really doing a lot of damage. We didn't have any way of scaling, but now we're getting a lot of penetration with them, and we are getting even more damned chance because it has 100% extra. So we're gonna be reaching 700, 800, 900 damned chance sometimes on our enemies, on our single target, and those are actually going to be doing a lot of damage. Now, When it comes to the Chaos Ball, very simple stuff. We're getting the procs on Reblood and Harvest. This is why you want a little bit of dexterity on your build. This can occur 3 times per second maximum, so you want to have probably 10 to 15 dexterity is very, very nice. You don't need more though. Then we are getting Damned and Grind Sands. This is what gives our Chaos Bolt a lot of more multiplier for our missing health as well. One of the main reasons we are going low life, and also because we can turn our leads into damage as well, of course. And this just gives you a little bit of extra duration on your Chthonic Fissure. So basically the rotation is Chthonic Fissure, Infernal Shade, Chthonic Fissure, and then you Chaos Bolt, so you give it extra duration with all the spirit frequency that you have gotten from your Infernal Shade, and you are good to go for your single target. Profane Veil, I do very much like the extra duration and the movement speed. Spirit Blade for a little bit more damage over time. We are getting the cleanse here, I'm making it double, of course, and applying Bone Curse, extra curses, extra damage, and a lot of other defensive layers based on our curses. Grave Circle here for Mark for Death on our enemies, and of course an extra curse penance. Then we go here, while you're on Profane Veil, you will be getting a lot more global damage multiplier, and this is why you want to do your rotation and then you Profane Veil, and your damage skyrockets. This is also very nice because you are lowering the cooldown of your Profane Veil when you're casting a curse skill, and you know, Chthonic Fissure is a curse skill, so we are good there. And our Reblood, very, very simple. Just go here to get better health restoration, and we're converting that health restoration into ward. We're getting the mana cost and the splatter. If you have any mana issues, do not take Eviscerate because this will increase your mana, but we are gonna be solving our mana anyway, so then you take that one. Harvest is gonna give us a 12% kill threshold, and with the Spirit Shard here is gonna give us a lot of mana regain, and we are a little bit of extra ward generation as well, based on our percent health. And right here we're getting another 20% movement speed when Harvest crits, because those are crit nodes down here. It's no problem, it's gonna be critting, and this buff is very, very consistent for 4 seconds. Now keep in mind, there is a possibility here, I'm just gonna throw it out there, that you don't need Harvest for your mana, and you go Ghost Flame here, so that because of the proliferation, the last node, while you have both Ignite and Damned Overload, enemies within 10 meters are afflicted with Witchfire every second. There is a chance that we might be going with Ghost Flame and go to the race car nodes over here, so that we can blast our echoes even faster. I don't think personally that is very much necessary. The gameplay of this build is very nice and very smooth, but we're gonna find out in the new season with more testing, just like we usually do on our builds. Now, early on, of course, you're not gonna have your low life, and this is what you want to start getting during your progression, and you're gonna be a life-based build. First of all, alright, so I have a few changes here on the Chthonic Fissure and on the Chaos Bolt. We don't take Grave for 2, for example, and we are gaining the health gain and the mana gain here, and of course Bone Curse on target location. Profane Veil pretty much remains the same, but Reblood, you don't want to take Arcane Fortress here early on. You only take it once you are feeling confident that you can start building up a little bit of extra ward on your character. So basically we are a hybrid build with leads this time around, and I have a couple of changes on Harvest as well, because we don't have enough points to go into the movement speed, so we're just taking an extra 5% more damage from Addend Harvest. You know, we are gaining a little bit of health and a little bit of ward, just extra sustain basically. That's the name of the game early on, get extra sustain. Now if you notice here, this passive tree has full progression from level 1 to level almost 90, exactly how you want to progress your tree in order to be in a good spot. So every little point is maximized to the best degree that I can. I would definitely recommend you following it. But of course, if you have other needs during your progression, make sure that you grab them. Now, I have a little bit of gear here. As you can see, this is a tier 6 minus mana cost and ignite, only 2 LP, nothing to send. You can get that very easily, even on your progression. And again, we have guaranteed slams. Revenant Mask, lower level base, basically. And again, I don't have anything crazy here. Dumped dexterity, because you're gonna need a little bit of dexterity, especially early on. Life, and this one is just dumped on hit, spirit, frequency, and life. Early on, 2 invokers, grasp rings, are gonna be really good actually, especially if you can find them with like over 60% ignite on hit and fire damage over time. This will boost your ignites, and it will boost your Witchfire as well. Also, you're getting fire cast speed, which is really cool early on, because we are liking that. And as you can see here, this is an example of what you can do without relying on red rings, right? You can get these set suffix from the invokers, Scorching Grasp, and this is fire damage over time and chance to apply on hit. You can use Rune of Havoc to make it tier 6 or tier 7 as well, but basically you don't even need a necrotic resistance base ring, right? An ivory ring, but you just grab 2 rings that cover your resistances with health, with extra resistance, and you know, you're just crafting your set shard affixes here, and you're gonna be in a very good spot. Soulfire is a very nice relic early on, especially because you're getting a whole bunch of ignite on hit with your fire and necrotic skills, so it's very strong right there. This is the best pair of gloves early on for the void resistance on the Crusader, and as you can see, a little bit of cast speed, damage over time, just movement speed. Arcane boots are also nice for the ward decay threshold early on. You're gonna have a little bit of the ward decay threshold. You can boost it even more later down the line, and just bases on the amulet early on don't matter. Anything that covers your resistances, if you have a bone amulet, or even, you know, line resistance, if you care about line resistance. As you can see, my blessings here are more towards covering my resistance, physical resistance, and line resistance over here. And very simple life or ward retention on the suffix right here on those idols. And this is pretty much the build. You don't need anything very difficult to grab early on. As you can see, my opening focus doesn't even have. You're gonna be sitting at about 2.7 to 3.2 K life, depending on your role, tier 6, tier 7, etc. on your life, once you get some gear. And this is enough to get your early Harbingers progression, and then you can swap into the low life. Now I'm doing a little bit of a thing where I'm focusing on the Blood, Frost, and Death timeline with this build, because this is where we're getting Last Steps of the Living and Exanguinus body armor, which means I can farm 2 of my basic items for my end game setup over here, right? So basically what I'm doing is that I'm going into the Blood, Frost, and Death every time I want to raise my corruption for my Harbingers. I'm basically raising it about 70 each time, and then I'm doing, about 100 each time, and then I'm doing 3 Harbingers on different timelines with the catch-up mechanic. It's very easy, you don't need anything in particular to do that. So I'm doing like 3 Echoes, 3 Harbingers with your Robis, and then I'm going back into Blood, Frost, and Death. I'm raising my corruption again, and I'm going back into the Harbingers. I'm gonna have a more extensive Harbinger progression guide later in the next few days on the channel, but for the time being, I think this is pretty much it. I believe we covered everything. This is a very nice build, very comfy to play, and with this new relic, it's gonna elevate to new levels of damage. It's gonna be very good to farm Aberoth of it. Now, I cannot really speak about Uber Aberoth. We don't know what's gonna be happening there. We're gonna find out. I don't really care about my Leaguestarter killing Uber Aberoth right now. We're gonna play a whole bunch of different builds, so we're definitely gonna be killing Uber Aberoth down the line. Thank you very much, guys, for watching, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye bye.